and I was freaking awesome.
Oh, and what did you ever sacrifice?
I gave every.
As a Nigerian woman who is in her 30s and doesn't desire to have children, one of the biggest questions that I get asked on a daily is, Kamini, why don't you want to have kids? And I always end up lying or not telling the truth or just saying, oh, I don't want. And that should be reason enough to not want to have kids. You don't owe anybody an explanation, but today I want to tell the truth. The main reason why I do not want to have children is because I cannot stand the idea of giving my kids anxiety as a gift. And this is the thing, as someone who has been diagnosed with a mental health condition, who knows that this is a lifelong condition, I am going to die with this disease. It is unfair for me, every time I think about the concept of having kids, it is unfair for me to have children with my condition, knowing fully well that I am not completely present. I am never going to be present, not because I don't want to, but because my brain literally cannot compute. And there's also the idea that I'm also very conscious of the fact that children are sponges and they soak up everything, and they soak up the tiniest things like neglect, like abuse, like all of those things are things that are within my control to say, I don't want to do this to somebody else. And for me, the main reason is I have a mental health condition that would put anybody that is 2 meters away from me at risk. And this is not to say that people who have mental health illness should not have children. It is my decision because I'm like, I don't want my children to be constantly worried about my own safety. I don't want them to be anxious about whether or not I'm going to wake up today or decide that I wanted to X and, off myself tomorrow. I don't want to give that anxiety to my kids as a gift. And I think that that's reason enough for me to say, no, I do not want. And when I saw this video, it just solidified my thoughts around the issue. And I am okay with it. I am okay with the idea of not having children and just, being by myself, building community. Whether or not I have a partner is inconsequential to me. This is the first time I'm able to actually articulate and tell this truth. And that is liberating for me in all ways. And let me know in the comments, do you want kids? Do you not want kids? Do you ever tell people the actual reason why you don't want children? Or do you not see? But it's interesting to me. Anyway, bye.
So I'm 53, completely single by choice, and also no children by choice. Love my life, have incredible friends, and travel is the secret to my happiness. I do not wait around for some man to show up to travel with me or to explore places with me. I do it on my own and have so much fun, and usually take friends with me, meet friends wherever I go. It's the secret to my personal happiness. So if you're out there whining and complaining that you can't find a guy and your life is not worth living, then you better knock it off and rethink the way you're living your life, because you got one shot, babies. So have fun and enjoy it while you can, single or not.
I'm child free, and my favorite quote is, fuck them kids. I'm child free, so that means I'm only responsible for me. I'm child free, and I can eat girl dinner any day of the week. I'm child free, and when someone asks me, do I have kids? I say, hell no. I'm child free, and I'm gonna quit that job because I don't have no mouths to feed. I'm child free. I don't think I'm selfish for putting my mental health first in this economy. I'm child free. I'm always down to go to brunch any day of the week. I'm child free, and when a circumstance come up, I'll be like, at least I don't got no kids. Thank you, God. I'm child free. I stay away from them baby daddies because they're contaminated in my eyes. I'm child free. Just because I don't want no kids don't mean I hate them. I'm child free. Yes, I will meet you in Miami by noon.
There's some things about being child-free that I don't think the child-free community talks about a lot, or maybe this is just how I feel, but there are some fears that I have and some of the reasons why I do not want to have kids. And I just wanted to give the three that I feel like Yeah, I'm really scared. I am really scared. And I'm not a risk taker. I have no intention of changing these fears. These fears will live forever. And for those of you who go down this path, more power to you. First big fear about having kids is that I don't want to give my kids a bad dad. And I'm talking about the entire spectrum of bad dadness. I'm talking about absent, doesn't call them, doesn't even acknowledge their existence to. He's in the house, but he doesn't participate. He's not a good dad. You know what I mean? And like, they tell us to pick better, and the stress of picking better has me picking none, because why is it on me? But I feel like I would get mad at me. I know myself. If I have like the kind of one who like makes the kids wait to pick them up, and like they sit at the door waiting for dad to come and he doesn't come, it's not my fault. But I know I'll be mad at me. And I'm so scared. I can't have that happen to me. And the only way to prevent that is to not participate at all. Yeah. Before you start saying, oh my gosh, Shalom, just fix that and you'll be fine. There's part 1 of why I do not want kids. It's pinned. I'm wearing orange. Number 2 is that I cannot risk my kid dying before me. Of course, this is completely out of my control. I have control issues. I'm not sure if you've been able to figure that out. But yeah. Now, for like, I've never had kids. I've never lost a kid. But I feel comfortable saying that the worst pain possible is losing a child. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard that wail, that cry when a parent finds out that their child is dead. I never ever want to, don't cry, on a platform, on the internet, get it together. I never want to hear that noise again. It is, anyway, yeah. I can't risk the world taking my child because no, I can't cry like that. And last but not least, I assure you, I can't trust you guys. You people who are out there raising your kids in horrendous ways while I'm putting in all the effort. By the way, I haven't put in any effort, but hypothetically speaking, I've put in a lot of effort to raise my kid well, and they have one interaction with you and you ruin my hard work. Like, I hear things about like your kid was very nice and then they started school and then they got bullied and then they got mean, and then it's like could we all just do better? But anyway, who am I to judge? I don't have kids. But yeah, those are my 3 very, very serious fears about having kids. And it's one of the reasons why I won't have any, because these 3 things are out of my control, kind of ish.
20 reasons why I want to be child-free forever, part 1. So I made this list yesterday after talking to this really young girl in her early 20s who told me that she's considering not having kids because she didn't really want them, but she wasn't sure that she was making the right decision or what her reasons even were. And so she asked me, because we've known each other for a while, she was like, what are your reasons for not wanting kids? And I actually went home and made this list for her. Number 1, straight off the bat, is that kids are hard to take care of. Number 2, I honestly would not want to have a sick child, like someone who is born sick in some way or another. Number 3, you cannot control who your kid turns out to be, especially if they turn out to be a really bad person. Number 4, I have so much work to do on myself still that I would not be able to really give a kid the attention that they deserve. Number 5 is that I lose my temper very quickly, and I would probably hit my kid at some point if they got me really pissed off, and that would probably traumatize them, which I wouldn't want. Number 6 is that I would not want to live with my heart outside of my body, meaning that because I love them so much, they would be my heart walking around, going places, and worrying me all the time. And I would not be able to live with that. It would give me so much anxiety. Number 7 is that they might probably hate me for something I didn't even know I was doing wrong. Like, it happens to so many of us that resent our parents for something that they probably didn't even think was a big deal, or that they just weren't aware that they were doing. Number 8 is that I don't think that I would honestly be able to survive the loss of a child if something were to happen to my child. Number 9 is that I wouldn't want them to experience the loss of a parent, whether it's their dad or myself, earlier than what's expected, because that can really change the course of a person's life. Number 10 is that I wouldn't want to bring someone into this world who has to figure shit out, who has to figure out what to do, where to work, how to live and all this shit, because all this shit is stressful, okay? Like, adulthood is stressful as fuck. So why would I want someone else to experience that, like, willingly?
Can I ask a question about kids?
Yeah.
What's your feelings on them?
In my 20s, I would have said, absolutely must have kids. I want them. At 30, I started questioning if that was just something that society's told me that I've wanted. There's not a lot of men I meet that I think they'd be great fathers. And so I kind of don't have that instinct to like procreate with them because I'm like, oh, I don't know if this would be an equal parenting relationship. My mom had like a very Britney Spears moment where she just like shaved her head. She was raising all three of us. My dad was in Afghanistan for like a 6 months tour. Understandably, she had a little mentee beat. You know, she had a little mental breakdown. Shaved her head one night, was super drunk, screaming, crying. And she was like, she grabbed me by the shoulders and she was like, don't have kids. Don't make the mistake I did. Have a career. Be someone.
Day in the life of a woman with no purpose. I'm 31 years old, I'm not married, I don't have children, and I like it that way. Despite being a loving daughter, a trustworthy friend, and a successful business owner, I don't need a singular purpose to live a fulfilling life. I prefer to be open and flexible with the freedom to live out each day as I please. I often hear my married friends say, marriage is hard work, children are exhausting, and call me crazy if you want, but I don't want to work hard and I don't want to be exhausted. I want to feel at peace and calm and centered and feel capable to embrace change and move freely with the flow of life. And I don't see how being tied down in a marriage or with kids could be any more fulfilling than that. Not that I don't want to date or fall in love eventually, but my experience dating men has been so disappointing. I'm highly emotionally intelligent, financially stable, successfully self-employed, and most men are insecure or jealous when a woman is smarter, funnier, or more successful than them. And I refuse to settle on someone who won't add equal or greater value to my life. So while you think my life has no purpose, I know that my purpose is fluid and can be anything I choose. And to me, that is an incredibly beautiful and worthwhile life.
I wanted to address this comment right here because it's one that I get a lot. I don't think anyone in the history of the world who's ever been pregnant with a child has said, I want to get pregnant so that I have a caretaker when I'm 80. I really don't understand the amount of people who comment this in my comment section and actually believe this. So I have a friend who's a palliative care nurse, and she says that hands down the most lonely people in the palliative care ward are parents. Typically, the most lonely elderly people in her palliative care ward are parents who have really strained relationships with their kids. Others have great relationships with their kids, but the kids just don't visit anyways, and they wonder what they've done wrong. Recently, one of the most well-loved people in her palliative care ward is an elderly child-free woman. She has tons of friends visiting her all of the time and just loves her life. Her husband's at the palliative care ward with her and treats her like a gem. Me being a child-free woman just assumes that people who want kids just really love children and want to foster a nice family unit at home and enjoy their offspring, not give birth to caretakers to prepare themselves for their old age. And I really hope that people who think like this person aren't out judging us all because we didn't have kids. I mean, what a sad thing to look at somebody who doesn't have children. You don't know what their life situation is. Like, they could be infertile. Can we be a little bit more sensitive and caring? And I also wonder about people like this person here who comments stuff like this. I mean, what happens if you're young and you try to have children and you can't have kids? Do you regret comments like this? And what if your kids are annoying and you don't want them bothering you at the nursing home? And to the rest of you who say that you're sick of my child-free content, I feel like I've started a discussion with my audience that they really enjoy. And there's a lot of child-free women out there who just really appreciate this safe space. So really, you don't have to worry about me. I'm good.